Bearing Witness to the Truth. Harold Cooke Phillips, author. Publishing date, copyright 1946. Ways of knowing the truth. In speaking of ways of knowing the truth, we are following an oft-traveled and hence familiar road. However, in view of the line of thought we are developing, it seems unwise to make a detour. Strictly speaking, we shall not consider the problem of epistemology. The relationship of the knowing mind to the known world presents an interesting and important field of study. It involves the work of such thinkers as Descartes, the English empirists Locke, Hume, and Berkeley, the work of Kant, and others. But as I have said, this book's approach to truth is primarily from the viewpoint of Christian faith rather than that of philosophic theories. One difficulty in the quest for truth is that of mistaking a thoroughfare for a terminus. Sometimes we think that we have arrived at the truth when we are actually still on the road to it. We may conscientiously think that we have found the truth, but there is often a big difference between what we believe the truth to be and what the truth really is. Between our idea of reality and reality itself. Whatever we believe to be true is truth for us, but our truth may not be the truth. The most direct source of confusion is that between truth for me and actual or objective truth. This is so because the discovery of truth is gradual or progressive. Truth does not come as with the fullness of light into a darkened room when one turns on a switch. It comes rather like a breaking dawn, at first but dimly seen upon the distant horizon, but gradually becoming more luminous, shining and more unto the perfect day. This, of course, is understandable, for man's grasp of truth depends so largely upon his fitness, intellectual or spiritual, to receive it. The Master clearly taught this, as when he said to his disciples, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth, and he will show you things to come." John 16:12-13. A child does not have the comprehension of a mature person, and there is a childhood of the race no less than of the individual. We see through a glass darkly. 1 Corinthians 13:12. Sometimes, however, through the increase of knowledge, experience, or faith, the glass becomes clearer and our view of reality more complete. Our unwillingness or inability to see this is a source of endless confusion and trouble. It means that quite often our truth becomes the enemy of truth. This can be avoided only as we understand that what is true for one age or generation, the full knowledge or more enlightened experience of some other may show to have been only partly true or wholly false. Illustrations of this are found in all areas of life. Science furnishes many. As a little jingle has it, we thought that the lines were straight and Euclid true, and God said, "Let Einstein be, and all's anew." What is askew, however, is not truth, which is unchanged and unchanging, but man's erroneous or incomplete conception of it. The trouble lies not in what is sought, but in the limitations of the seeker. When we say that man progressively discovers truth, we do not mean to infer that he is always seeking but never finding. We mean rather that his findings, especially if they are genuine, need not fear the most relentless scrutiny. The one thing truth does not fear is light. We need not hesitate, therefore, to submit the truth we have found or accepted to any further illumination we may receive. We feel certain, however, that some moderns mistake hallucination for illumination. Paul warned about those who were ever learning and never being able to come to the knowledge of the truth. 2 Timothy 3:7. From a Christian point of view, this position is untenable. We believe truth can be found, has been found, said the Master. Ye shall know the truth. John 8:32. And how do we know it? Mainly in 5 ways: authority, reason, intuition, experiment, revelation. To try to discuss these 5 approaches to reality in one chapter reminds me of the story of the little girl who chose the subject of her short essay, The Universe and Other Things. Yet it may be more satisfactory to open several doors than to explore any one approach more in detail. As it is, I shall devote most of my comments to revelation, since this is the uniquely religious way of knowing the truth. In other 4 ways mentioned, I shall discuss as succinctly as I am able. First, authority. Notice, not authoritism. Fortunately or unfortunately, thoroughgoing authoritism is not available for Protestants. It is, however, the method par excellence for Roman Catholics. They are taught to believe that the Roman Church has a monopoly on Christian truth, and it is sole God-appointed custodian and interpreter. A manual of Catholic theology teaches that faith is assent on authority, that is to say, the acceptance of a preposition, not because we ourselves perceive its truth, but because another person tells us that's what is true. As the Master, seek and ye shall find, Matthew 7:7. The Roman Catholic does not seek, he accepts. His duty is to take simply and unquestioningly what someone else has allegedly found. Father George Tyrrell voiced perfectly the Roman Catholic position. In all my life, now fully 47 years, I cannot remember a single temptation against faith that seemed to me to have any force. The church teachings is before me, as glorious series of splendid certainties. My mind is absolutely satisfied. I have no private judgment to overcome, and no desire to exercise my private judgment. It is a greater pleasure to receive and possess truth with certainty than to go in search of it and to be uncertainty whether it has been found. This sort of authoritarianism deprives one of the enriching, though at times disturbing, experiences that are part of the quest. To be wholly spared the intellectual and moral disciplines incumbent upon those who seek it is to remain among the spiritually immature. To say that the genus of Protestantism is away from authoritarianism is not to say. However, the Protestantism is devoid of authority. Unlike the scribes, Jesus was not an authoritarian, but he spoke as one having authority. Matthew 7:29. His authority was not external, legal, or official, but moral and spiritual. It sprang from the intrinsic nature of the truth he taught and exemplified. He was the authority of truth. Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Matthew 22:16. How did they know? Because they sensed about him that which was so obviously genuine. For truth has a face, and such a mane, as to be loved needs only to be seen. That is to say, there's a self-evidencing quality in truth, and the Master possessed it in the fullest sense.